Do not look at the sky. The greatest deception in history, Project Bluebeam 2.0. Friends, imagine for a moment the following picture. You go outside on an ordinary evening, look up at the sky, and see something there that makes your heart stop from terror or awe. Perhaps it is a huge, shining alien ship hovering over the city, or the image of a universally recognized prophet preaching to humanity about the coming judgment. The entire planet is in a panic or an ecstasy, billions of people united by one sight, one thought, one fear. But what if I told you that all of this is the greatest staging in human history? That behind this global performance stand neither aliens nor divine forces, but the coldest and most calculating minds of our time, armed with technologies we cannot even imagine. Today, we are going to talk about a conspiracy theory that is ceasing to be just a theory and is becoming more plausible with every passing day, about Project Bluebeam version 2.0, about a new wave of rumors telling us that a faked alien invasion is just around the corner. Think about it, viewer. Why has the sky become so strange in recent years? Why are people all over the world observing unexplained optical phenomena, hearing strange sounds coming as if from the heavens themselves? And why have reports of contact with unidentified flying objects stopped being the domain of the marginalized and leaked into official reports from governments and military departments? They tell you these are weather balloons, natural anomalies, or mass hysteria. But what if this is all part of a dress rehearsal? What if you were being prepared for the most massive deception in human history? Project Bluebeam is a supposed secret operation whose goal is the establishment of a new world order through total control over consciousness. The plan, as sources claim, consists of 4 carefully thought-out steps, each of which hits at the very foundations of our civilization. It is a plan to simulate a global threat so terrifying and all-encompassing that a humanity scared to death will voluntarily give up its freedoms, national borders, and religious beliefs in exchange for salvation offered by a world government. And the key element of this diabolical design is technology capable of projecting giant, incredibly realistic holograms directly into our planet's atmosphere. The first step of this sinister project is the destruction of foundations. Imagine a series of artificially induced earthquakes at key points on the planet where major archaeological and religious artifacts are kept. As a result of these natural cataclysms, new finds come to light that supposedly completely refute and discredit all existing religious doctrines, from Christianity to Islam. The goal is to sow chaos, doubt, and a spiritual vacuum in the minds of billions of believers. People will be shown evidence that their gods were misunderstood, that sacred texts are distorted, and that their entire faith is built on lies. This will be a powerful blow to the cultural and spiritual foundation of society, creating ideal conditions for the acceptance of a new, unified truth offered by the puppeteers.
Think about how many times lately we have heard about sensational archaeological discoveries that rewrite history. Isn't this that very same preliminary preparation, a slow but steady shaking of our fundamental beliefs so that at the right moment the ground for deception is ready? This stage does not require loud special effects. It works quietly at the level of information, leaking into scientific journals, documentaries, and news feeds, gradually undermining faith from within. Next follows the second, most spectacular and frightening stage, the space show. Using sophisticated technology based on the interaction of lasers and chemical reagents specifically sprayed in the upper layers of the atmosphere, giant 3-dimensional holographic images will be projected over different parts of the world. In the sky above the Christian world, the image of Christ will appear. Over the Muslim world, Muhammad. Over the Buddhist world, Buddha. Each of these deities will speak in the language of its flock, addressing human consciousness directly. It will not be like ordinary sound. It is claimed that technology, combined with the capabilities of systems like HAARP, will allow messages to be transmitted directly into the brain, creating a complete illusion of personal divine revelation. Every person will be convinced that God Himself is speaking to them. After this, individual images will begin to merge into one, forming the image of a new Messiah, the Antichrist, who will proclaim the abolition of all old religions and the creation of a new, unified faith for all humanity. Imagine the global psychological shock, panic, and ecstasy gripping the planet. The scale of this deception is so great that only a few will be able to resist, those who were warned. This stage is intended to finally destroy religious diversity and unite people under the banner of a new, synthetic deity completely controlled by shadow elites. The third step deepens psychological processing to an individual level. It involves the use of ultra-low frequency and extremely low frequency waves, which, by interacting with a person's electromagnetic field, are capable of inducing specific thoughts and emotions. The technology attributed to this stage allows for two-way communication with the human brain. This means that the puppeteers will be able not only to broadcast thoughts, but also to hear the response, adjusting their impact in real time. It will seem to people that they are communicating with God, that they are chosen, that a higher truth has been revealed to them. In reality, they will become puppets in a global theater of mind control. This technology will allow the suppression of the will to resist, inducing an artificial sense of euphoria and acceptance of what is happening, turning entire nations into submissive followers of the new religion. Resistance at this stage will become practically impossible, for how can you fight thoughts that you consider your own? This is the ultimate form of enslavement, when the bars of the prison are inside your skull and the jailer is your own mind, which no longer belongs to you.
And finally, the fourth and final chord of this apocalyptic scenario is the staging of an alien invasion. When the world is plunged into religious chaos, when old foundations collapse, and the new Messiah has not yet fully established his power, a new and even more terrifying threat will take the stage. In the skies, not only holograms, but also quite real man-made flying craft imitating alien ships will appear. A performance of a massive attack on the world's largest cities will be staged. The goal is to sow maximum panic and despair, to bring humanity to a state where it will be ready to accept any help, any savior. And at this critical moment, that very same New World leader will appear who, using supposedly divine powers, will repel the invasion and save humanity. After this triumph, all the peoples of the world, in a burst of gratitude and relief, will joyfully accept the power of a single world government and its leader, who will unite the planet in the face of a common threat. National sovereignties, armies, currencies, all this will be abolished as a relic of the past. An era of total control will begin, masked under the guise of peace and unity. This idea was not born yesterday on some forum for paranormal enthusiasts. Its origins go back to the mid-90s of the last century, when Canadian journalist and researcher Serge Monast published his shocking findings. He claimed to possess information about a secret project being developed through the joint efforts of such powerful organizations as NASA, the CIA, and other elite structures, the goal of which is the complete reformatting of human consciousness. According to his data, Project Bluebeam is not just a set of technologies, but a clearly thought-out plan of 4 successive phases that should lead the world to the establishment of a single world government, known as the New World Order. The first phase, as he described it, involves the artificial creation of earthquakes and other cataclysms to discredit existing scientific knowledge and religious dogmas. The second phase is a demonstration in the skies of ancient artifacts and sacred symbols of all the world's religions to show their common origin and the need to abandon them in favor of a new unified faith. The third phase is the most frightening, a massive telepathic attack on the consciousness of every person through satellites, creating the illusion of a collective voice of God or an alien intelligence. And finally, the fourth phase is the culmination of the entire performance, where humanity will be presented with its new Messiah, possibly in the guise of an alien leader who will unite everyone under his command. Monast died under mysterious circumstances in 1996 without waiting to see his theory either refuted or confirmed, but his ideas continue to live and develop. Now let us transport ourselves to our era, to the year 2026, and look at the world around us from the perspective of this theory. Doesn't it seem to you that technology has leaped forward with such speed that what used to seem like science fiction has already become reality today? Artificial intelligence, which even 10 years ago was a topic of science fiction, now writes music, creates paintings, and generates videos indistinguishable from real ones. And what about holograms? Remember the giant 30-meter holograms appearing in the night sky over Los Angeles or London, advertising yet another movie or concert? These technologies already exist. They are already used for commercial purposes, and their potential for creating a global illusion is simply colossal. Modern phased array systems, combined with powerful artificial intelligence algorithms, are capable of generating three-dimensional holograms in real time that can be observed without special glasses and at enormous distances. Imagine that instead of an advertisement for a new smartphone, a whole fleet of alien ships suddenly appears in the sky over your city, accompanied by an ominous hum and light effects. Who will be able to distinguish reality from a high-tech fake? Who will be able to convince millions of panicking people that this is just a projection? This is precisely where the main danger of the modern version of Project Bluebeam lies, in the fact that the technological base for its implementation is already practically ready. But who stands behind this grand design, and why do they need to mislead all of humanity? Here we step onto the ground of the deepest conspiracy theories, which speak of the existence of a global elite, a secret world government that has been working for centuries toward its ultimate goal, the establishment of absolute control over every aspect of life on the planet. This elite, according to their logic, understands that old methods of management through economics and politics are no longer as effective in the era of the internet and free access to information. People have become too independent, too inclined toward critical thinking. Therefore, they need a global shock, an event of such magnitude that it would erase all national, religious, and cultural boundaries overnight. An alien invasion or a divine revelation is the ideal catalyst for such unification. In the face of an external, universal threat, all earthly disagreements seem insignificant. People themselves will ask for the creation of a single world government that can protect them from this threat, and will give up their freedoms in exchange for the illusion of security. This is the essence of the New World Order, not conquest by force, but voluntary enslavement through fear and false hope. And Project Bluebeam is the key to achieving this goal, a technological tool for conducting the most massive psychological experiment in history. However, skeptics might argue that all of this is nothing more than the fruit of a sick imagination, that there is no reliable evidence of the existence of such a project. They will be right in one thing: there are indeed no official documents marked top secret regarding Project Bluebeam. But would powerful structures capable of such a thing leave behind paper trails? Their methods are much more sophisticated. They work through hints, through trial balloons, through the creation of the necessary public mood. Look at how the topic of UFOs has intensified in the official media in recent years. The U.S. Department of Defense publishes declassified videos of unidentified aerospace phenomena, and hearings are held in Congress on this topic. Doesn't it seem to you that this is a kind of preparation of public opinion, a gradual habituation to the idea that we're not alone in the universe? This could be the first stage of introducing the idea necessary for the future performance. Furthermore, remember the numerous eyewitness reports of strange glowing objects in the sky, of mass hallucinations that science explains by psychogenic causes, but which could well be the result of testing new technologies for mind control or projection. Each such event is a brick in the foundation of a future global illusion, a test of the crowd's reaction, a fine-tuning of the system. So friends, we have come to the most important moment. Even if you do not believe in every detail of this theory, even if you find it too fantastic, ask yourself one simple question. Why is it so easy to instill in us a fear of an external threat, be it viruses, military conflicts, or now aliens? Why are we constantly taught to look for an enemy somewhere outside instead of paying attention to real problems within our own societies? Project Bluebeam, regardless of whether it exists in the form of a specific program or not, is a metaphor, a warning. It reminds us of how vulnerable our perception of reality is, how easily it can be manipulated with the help of modern technology and psychology. Do not let anyone think for you. Do not take on faith what is shown on television or written in the newspapers, especially if it causes you panic or blind adoration. Seek information from different sources, analyze and doubt. Your mind is the last bastion of freedom that cannot be given up under any pretext. Wake up, start thinking for yourself, because only a conscious and critically thinking humanity will be able to resist any attempts to deceive and enslave it, whether with the help of holograms, artificial intelligence, or ancient fears. The truth is always out there, but you can only find it yourself. This video is for entertainment purposes only and is an overview of popular theories.